And good afternoon. In case you're wondering where the head strategist is, David McMillan, let's see if I was being correct. I am he. He is not here. In fact, he is taking the semester off because David McMillan, the host of Strategies for Living, has his own gig on the radio. Now, don't tell anybody that, but it's on, all the time now, Monday through Friday over there on 710 Keel. He called me up, Tom Pace, your humble guest co-host strategist, can I say that? And he said, Tom, would you be able to host this live show from Bossier Parish Community College that we know as BIPSI? Could you do that for me this semester? And I think I paused about a half a second and said, yes, I'll be more than happy to, Mr. David, because it was your humble host here that helped him get on the radio about 25 years ago. So I said, you better believe it, because that's one of the things that David believes in, and he knows I believe in it too. And that is doing good for other people. And there's a lot of things that we're going to cover today. And welcome in, by the way, from the beautiful telecommunications studios high atop Bossier Parish Community College, Building D. And sitting to my left, your right, is a great man who is, are you a program director? What are you?
I'm a program coordinator here at BIPSI.
What programs do you coordinate at BIPSI?
I'm in the Communication and Performing Arts Division, so I help obviously with the TV station that we have here, our film department, as well as our theater and music department.
Okay, and so tell everybody who you are.
My name is Paul Belcher.
Belcher,
just like that little town north of here.
I was going to say, there is a town in Louisiana. Are you named after it?
Not directly, but basically that's where they push the mail off the train, and that's where it got the town name, and that's how it got
it. All right, so Paul Belcher is sitting here, and we're going to cover a number of items. I'm also going to tell you a couple of 3 stories, one of which was an awesome event that occurred just this past Friday night. It was the 3rd annual Arklatex Heritage Music Festival downtown in Shreveport. And one of the unique things about that, they are spotlighting great musical, recording, and people that help the performing arts community. They might be Robin Hood Bryans, which is a great man. He produced the first 4 albums of ZZ Top. Also did the commercial recorded at his studio, Robin Hood Bryans in Tyler. I want my baby back, baby back ribs. He produced that for Chili's.
Okay.
And so he was one of the ones that got a special award, as did, the kid, Garrett. Garrett Jacobs, who was on The Voice, and Natalie Hanson, who was also on The Voice. They received special awards, and a bunch of other great performers and entered. Trini Triggs received an award. Now, Trini, he follows in the footsteps of Country Charlie Pride and others.
Yeah, we actually had one of our students performing as well. She's a graduate of the theater program or the music program, Gabrielle James.
Oh man, that was great.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a great situation where music is part of our culture in Shreveport, and it seems like it's kind of gotten away a little bit, but it's great to have events like this where people can go see at a nice location, see events like this. And I think, next month we have the LA Music Prize tied with the LA Film Prize.
Yeah, the Louisiana Music Prize. Yeah, and the movies, the short have to be produced in Louisiana using Louisiana people. And the nice part about this, all of these movies are only 15 minutes long. 15 minutes long, and you can be a part of the judging process, actually, if you will go there, sit through all those movies, and
then you get to vote.
And so don't ever say, well, gee, Tom, I don't get to vote on anything. I'm not old enough. Well, guess what? You can do that.
And it's tied with the Revel as well during the same time, so it's a great reason to go downtown Shreveport. And more things to do.
Paul Belcher, our guest strategist today, and you know who I really wanted, and I tried to call him, but I guess he's so busy. Your chancellor,
Dr. Bateman?
Dr. Rick Bateman, I have tried to call him for 2 weeks, and the office says, oh, leave a message, and then I tried to call him on his cellular thing, and he didn't answer that, so I figure he must be out drowning a few worms or doing something.
No, he's definitely a very busy man. I wish to, you can't say that he lets the grass grow under his feet.
Oh, he doesn't.
He's moving around. He's doing things. He's not just sitting there. No, he is definitely
No,
not fishing.
he's not doing that? Okay, well, we are going to get him as one of our guest strategists.
Great.
I am going to work with with his office to get him to come in here and talk about the success of Bossier Parish Community College.
Okay.
Because you are, as far as I know, the fastest growing, the biggest student community in the state of Louisiana.
We're a very dynamic campus with a lot of great programs, and it's one of those things that's what keeps him busy, is keeping everything moving forward. It's amazing all the different areas and the opportunities that our students have. It's not just what we have here at our TV station, not the theater department. The nursing program
Well,
has a
you got a
brand new
basketball
building.
team.
We have a basketball. We have a new cross country team. We just added that. So, I mean, along with men and women's basketball and men's baseball and women's softball, we have,
The
cross country just started. So there's a lot of great opportunities in a lot of different areas. And it's one of those things, it's like in Shreveport, there's a lot of great things around town that you can do. If you look, if you don't, you're going to be, there's nothing to do
There's
here.
nothing to do. You'd be a negative Nelly.
Exactly.
And can't handle that.
Well, it's like last weekend we had the GeekCon at the convention center,
That's
which
right.
brought in a lot of people from out of town. This coming Labor Day weekend, which of course everybody loves a 3-day weekend.
It depends on what end of it you're
That's
in.
true. Monday at around 9 p.m., I think most people are going to be
Yes.
But at least it's only a 4-day week as opposed to a 5-day week for most of us. But we have the powerboat race
Nationals.
the Nationals on the Red River that'll be going on during then. And I believe they have the Battle of the Border high school football games at Independence Stadium, where they have teams from Oklahoma and Alabama as
And
well
right
as
here
Louisiana.
In Louisiana, yeah.
Yeah,
And Denny Rogers and the whole team are putting that on over there at Landers Dodge.
And it's a great. I mean, I think the early bird ticket is $10 for 6 games.
I mean, how can you beat that?
You
You
can't.
do your math, 6 into 10 is about what? 6 into one.
I think they'll get you at the Coke stand.
Yeah, I think that's where they get you if you get it right at the
Yeah.
Coke. Now listen, Paul Belcher here with me, and it is Strategies for a Living, and your guest strategist co-host Tom Pace, humbly with you till 12:30 today. We're right now about 8 minutes past the hour Central Daylight Saving Time out of Shreveport, Louisiana, and live on Suddenlink.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, on Channel 12 on Suddenlink Cable in Bossier City.
And it's also live on my Facebook video feed.
There we go.
So we're covering all of the areas. Now, let's go straight over here. Well, I'm going to hold this, and I'm going to tell you about an event that I attended Friday night. That was the big award ceremony over there for the 3rd annual Arklatex Heritage Music Festival downtown. It was in Festival Plaza. First time ever in Festival Plaza. Had been down under the boardwalk down there in the Red River District. So who was there to sing but a lady, one of only 2 people, as far as I know, in the world that has sang with both Elvis Presley and Aretha Franklin. Her name, Estelle Brown. You might not know the name, but the group was known as the Sweet Inspirations. They backed up Elvis. They backed up Aretha. She is 75 years young. She acted like she was 25. She sang, and of course, the Sweet Inspirations are not all together. So what she has a group known as the New Sweet Inspirations. And let me tell you, she had 2 ladies there that knocked it out of the park. And they were accompanied by Rodney Harrington, a.k.a. Johnny Earthquake, and the Moondogs, which is a 10-piece show band. And if you've never gotten a chance to see the Moondogs in concert with their big 10-piece show band, you have missed it. They're known as the show band of the South, actually, Paul.
Okay.
And I had the opportunity to interview Miss Estelle at her home and spent 2.5 hours with her.
Okay.
And she talked about how she was first hired by Elvis and Aretha, and then Aretha just passed, as we all know, August 16th. Who else died on August 16th?
Wasn't it Elvis Presley?
It was Elvis Presley,
Yeah.
41 years
earlier.
ago. So now the king of rock and roll and the queen of soul are both in the heavenly choir with the good Lord. And she told me, she said, Tom, I don't think that was an accident.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things, it's how much influence that both of them had over music, and obviously Elvis having performed here in Shreveport, and the history that we have. It's been amazing, but it's one of those things, it is an interesting coincidence, and also having a person in the backup band with them, that's kind of an interesting coincidence as well.
I'm telling you, and she is so excited. In fact, I'll tell you who I just came from. I just came from the Bossier Webster DA's office, Skylar Marvin. And I found out Friday night, Miss Estelle will be more than happy to be in attendance at the People of Courage Luncheon, the second annual one, that's going to be on October 11th at Samstown.
Okay.
And she told me, she said, I'd be more than happy to be there. Well, D.A. Marvin was just thrilled. And I will tell you, my heart to yours, I'll tell you more about it, but I just saw this. And that doesn't mean they're trying to get their hands together. That means it's a break.
It's time to take
It's
a break.
So let us take a quick break. It is the Strategies for Living, sans David McMillan. Tom Pace, your guest strategist, co-host, right here live from BIPSI and the Telecommunications Department studio where the news is next. Stand by.
Hi, I'm Rusty Wallace. In racing, the driver is only as good as the team they've got behind them. The same principle holds true in business. A successful company invests in employees that are highly skilled and display good character. Our returning servicemen and women fit that bill. They've shown that they've got the qualities that make them real assets to any company that hires them. In the military, their education may include training in technology, communications, and logistics. But more importantly are the values that they embrace, like courage, integrity, and leadership, the same values that can make a business successful. So if you're an employer, on behalf of the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, I want to urge you to hire smart and bet on a vet. It's also a great way to thank them for the service they provided on our behalf. To learn more, call the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes at 1-888-44-SALUTE or visit saluteheroes.org on the web. Thank you.
In 1977, in Johannesburg, South Africa, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. By the age of 9, he was already outplaying him. The odds of this gentle lad winning the Junior World Golf Championships at the age of 14, 1 in 16 million. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the Open Championship once and the US Open Championship twice, 1 in 780 million. The odds of this professional golfer having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
Hey, welcome back. Strategies for Living, your guest co-host strategist, Tom Pace, sitting in for the wonderful man who is the chief strategist, David McMillan, and humbled to be here. That's all I've got to say. And Paul Belcher over here, and this kid, Alex Richardson,
Yes.
our floor director. I tell you what, that floor has not moved since he
No.
stood there
No.
telling you. So today, and I watched him count us down. Very professional.
Very much so, yes.
I'm impressed. And so today, I wanted to talk a little bit about events that have happened. Besides Aretha Franklin dying, and by the way, her service is going to be on the 31st in Detroit. And it's at this big church there that seats 4,000 people.
Not big enough.
No, but however, this is just special service
Okay.
for her family and select friends. So, and I asked Estelle Brown if she was going, and she initially told me yes, but then I found out last night that she said no. She is still just so taken with everything that has occurred. She did tell me, I will relate one thing. I said, what was the most special moment with Aretha Franklin? She said when she asked me to go pray with her dad, who was near death at the time. And she called me up and said, would you go and pray with him? And she did. And she said, I sat there, I held his hand, and I spoke to him, and I prayed for him. And we both said, you know, it's been said that they may not appear to be conscious, but they can hear you.
They can hear you.
And she admitted that that was what she believed. So now you've got she, who is being officially interred on the 31st, and then all of a sudden, just this past weekend, John McCain. The family announces they've stopped all special life continuance, and then he dies the next day. He died on Saturday.
Well, I mean, considering everything that he has gone through in his life as a prisoner of war during Vietnam, which obviously things were not nice at the Hanoi Hilton, he's had an amazing career since then.
I heard one of the network announcers say this, and it was so powerful that I committed it to memory. He said, "The man, the myth, the maverick." And I think that probably sums up John McCain's life, because he never did anything the easy way.
No. And it's one of those things that following in your father and your grandfather's footsteps,
Where he
they
was
were the
destined to be in the Navy.
That was, and obviously flying, I believe, was it A4s?
F4.
I thought it was a smaller plane, not the bigger one.
It was the big jet.
Okay. But obviously surviving the horrible fire that happened on the carrier as well. And like I said, with his tenure in the Hanoi Hilton and long career as a senator to the United States. And there's too many politicians that sometimes just vote down party lines. And as you said, he was a maverick. He was not afraid to do what he felt was right. And there's times that we definitely need that. And it's something that we're going to miss that. I think we're a little bit less without that.
I think you've seen all of I've seen everything from Senator Cassidy to Senator Kennedy, Governor John Bel Edwards, all of the members, 4th District Congressman Mike Johnson, even Bill Davis, the head man over there with Sheriff Whittington, who, by the way, could not be here because of other prior commitments. Neither could Bill, because he is at a big PIO convention in Florida right now. And he posted up on his Facebook when he got to meet Senator McCain and got a photo with him in 2014 when the senator came here. And so there are so many memories that people have. So, and by the way, for services, it's going to be over there at the State House in Arizona. That's going to be number one. He will lie in repose. Then they will take him to Washington, D.C., where he will lie in repose in the rotunda of the Capitol. And finally, he will be at the Annapolis, the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. And ultimately, after everything is done, he'll be interred in the Naval Cemetery there.
Okay.
And so you stop and you think about, what can I say, men of courage? And there's a debate going on amongst various people, you know, and I'm not going to get into that debate.
And it's one of those things that at this point we should be grateful that he lived, he touched lives.
He did.
Everybody is going to try to turn things their own agenda, but this is not time for that.
No, it's not. It's a time for our nation to come together. You'll go, as Bill O'Reilly said, to the spin room after all is said and done. But let us, as a nation and as a people of one, meaning one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all, salute a great warrior from one Navy man to another. Arizona Senator John McCain, you are a living legend who now is living in God's holy kingdom. That's all I got to say. Oh, by the way, there was another passing. Neil Simon.
Neil Simon.
Now, John McCain was, I think I counted it, 5 days away from his birthday when he passed at the age of 81.
Okay.
He was 5 days away. He was just almost there. And Neil Simon, he was 91, and he passed. How great was Neil Simon?
It's one of those things that a lot of people they're not aware of everything that he did because unfortunately it was bigger in the 70s and 80s. I mean, a lot of his plays were turned into movies
and TV
series.
The Odd Couple.
We actually here at Bossier Parish Community College, we just did Neil Simon's Rumors this past April, and it got a lot of laughs. It was a little bit dated but the thing is, we grew up in the 80s, or I grew up in the 80s, and I got a lot of the jokes. There's some of them. The students weren't obviously around then, but he knew how to do dialogue and make it interesting. And for a generation, he was a very popular, very dynamic playwright.
And still, to this day, his plays live on.
Of course.
Absolute, and I mean, I have seen the professional productions, the touring shows of The Odd Couple and others. Let me tell you, the man was, as someone had put, a comedic genius when it came to playwriting. And all I've got to say is, they're leaving us, those great people that we as seniors grew up with. I'm 71, and I'm just proud the good Lord gave me the ability to still communicate, to be able to share items. One of the things that I do on my website, which is shrevetalk.com, I interview people that have a story to tell. And I think that's probably just like Neil Simon. Would that be right?
That would be right. That was the thing with all of his plays. He made interesting people. There was a conflict, which that's what makes things interesting. But it wasn't just mean. It was fun. It made us look at ourselves and laugh at ourselves. And hopefully it will inspire other future playwrights to take chances, to try things, to do things, and have fun. And that's one thing that I think that we can thank the world for Neil Simon, is that he made us laugh when things were not so funny.
And help me with this. And again, Paul Belcher, our special guest today on Strategies for a Living. Tom Pace, your humble co-host, guest strategist, sitting in for David McMillan at it's about 6 minutes till 12:30, at which time they turn this other big set lights on and you get the news. Is that right?
That is correct.
Who is the anchor today?
I believe we have Daniel Foots and Sarah Patterson will be our anchors today.
Well, I bet you he can foot the bill, can't he?
One would hope.
Yes, he can. So Daniel Foots and Ms. Patterson, okay, they're coming up. So this is called a front promote tease, okay? So anyway, in case you were wondering. So you're looking at something that you said, and that is this, ladies and gentlemen. Where is the fun anymore in our lives? Sadly, it's reached a point where we cannot say hardly anything without offending somebody. And I'm not saying that freedom of speech is king and all of that. We should be able to say whatever. No, we shouldn't. But still, there needs to be a point in our lives where we can just have a fun laughing at ourselves. Tom loves to laugh at me. I mean, you know, whether it's me tripping over a cat in the house or what. I love to have fun laughing at me, not at you, Paul.
Or not at anyone's expense, but it's something we all need to relax. We need to have fun.
And take a big, deep breath.
That's the big thing, I
Yes.
think, because everybody is, they're so short.
Evidently, they're afraid somebody is going to say something that is off-putting. That all of a sudden they're making notes. Oh, you said this word. Oh my God.
15 years ago, and it offends me now.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm telling you. Okay, well, it's 12:27. How close do we go to the half hour? Paul?
We're actually getting close to the time to wrap it up.
Well, let me ask you this, and Paul Belcher, our guest strategist today. Paul, if you were to tell us one thing that is special about your life and what it means to this community and to you.
I think main thing is to take chances. Don't sit on your rear end and avoid things, but go out and do things. That's where the world is. It's not in your living room. Go out, try things. Try it. Have fun, learn from it.
Ask Mikey, give it to him. He'll eat it. And I just would like to humbly say on behalf of David McMillan, I've always believed in what Zig Ziglar said. You help enough people get what they want or where they want to go, you'll get to where you want to go. And it is God's divine purpose. Well, that's pretty much it. This first inaugural edition of Strategies for Living, and your guest strategist, co-host Tom Pace. I see Ryan over here. Ryan, what do we have? We got a minute? I'm looking.
I think we're done.
We're done? Have a good night. I never saw the wrap.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
Well, you